The Norse gods needed a fortress, a place of their own, safe from giants and monsters. They imagined Asgard, a shining city above the clouds, but building Asgard, that was a problem. The gods were powerful, sure. They could shatter mountains and boil the seas. But they weren't known for their craftsmanship. Who could build them a home worthy of gods? One day a giant appeared, shrouded in mist and mystery. He was taller than any mountain, stronger than any storm. His presence was overwhelming, a force of nature that demanded attention. "I will build you, Asgard," he boomed, his voice shaking the heavens and echoing across the realms. The ground trembled beneath his feet. "But it will come at a price," he warned. The gods were wary, their eyes narrowing with suspicion. Giants weren't known for their generosity. They were cunning and often had hidden motives. What could this one possibly want in return for his labor? The gods pondered, their minds racing with possibilities. "What price?" asked Odin the Allfather, his single eye narrowed in suspicion. He knew that such an offer from a giant was not to be taken lightly. The gods gathered in council, debating the giant's offer. They knew the construction of Asgard would be a monumental task, one that could secure their legacy for eons. Yet the price was unknown and the risk was great. The giant waited patiently, his eyes gleaming with a secret knowledge. Finally, after much deliberation, the gods reached a decision. Odin stepped forward, ready to negotiate, his mind sharp and his resolve unyielding. The giant smiled, a fearsome sight. His grin stretched wide, revealing sharp teeth that glinted in the light. His eyes gleamed with a sinister intent, sending shivers down the spines of those who dared to look. "I want the sun, the moon, and the goddess Freya," he demanded, his voice booming like thunder. The gods were horrified, their faces pale with fear and disbelief. How could they possibly give up such precious treasures? Losing Freya, the goddess of love and beauty. Unthinkable! She was the heart and soul of Asgard, her presence a source of joy and light. The thought of her being taken away was unbearable. This is where Loki came in. With a dramatic flair, he entered the scene, his eyes twinkling with mischief and cunning. Loki, the god of mischief, always had a plan. His mind was a labyrinth of schemes and tricks, always ready to outwit anyone who crossed his path. "We have a counteroffer," Loki announced, his voice dripping with false sweetness. His words were like honey, masking the sharp sting of his true intentions. "You can have them if you finish building Asgard in one winter," he proposed, a sly smile playing on his lips. The task seemed impossible, a challenge that no one could meet. "If not, you get nothing," Loki added, his tone turning cold and unforgiving. The giant's face twisted in frustration, realizing the enormity of the challenge. The giant, arrogant and sure of his strength, readily agreed. He believed in his power, confident that he could accomplish the impossible. Little did he know he was walking right into Loki's trap. The giant worked tirelessly, hauling giant stones from dawn till dusk. His strength was unmatched and his determination unwavering. Day after day he toiled under the scorching sun, moving massive stones that seemed impossible for any mortal to lift. He was raising towering walls that reached for the heavens. The progress he made was nothing short of miraculous, and it was happening far too quickly for the gods' liking. They watched in growing concern, realizing that if the giant continued at this pace, he would complete the walls well before the agreed deadline. Panic began to set in among the gods. Loki, always the clever one, came up with a cunning solution. He transformed himself into a beautiful mare, a creature so enchanting that it would be impossible for any horse to resist. Using his new form, Loki lured the giant's horse away from the construction site. The horse, captivated by the mare, followed Loki into the wilderness. Without his horse, the giant found himself unable to move the massive stones. His progress came to a grinding halt, and he realized he would not be able to complete the work in time. The gods were safe, their home secure, but it was a security built on a foundation of trickery and deceit. They breathed a collective sigh of relief, knowing that their cunning had saved them from a potentially disastrous situation. And that, my friends, is how Asgard was built. A city of grandeur and majesty, but also a city with a history of deception woven into its very walls. But here's a question for you. Was it a fair deal? The gods may have secured their home, but at what cost to their honor and integrity? The story of Asgard's construction is a reminder that even the mightiest of fortresses can have a foundation built on lies.